Again. I thought I'd outgrown it, but I guess you don't outgrow anything, it's turning out.
So my question to you, when you're going into debate ballpark and the scene where you start cracking up, was that planned or was just, let's just go with it?
You know, nothing with James Callis was ever planned. I say that with total love. Laura Roslin says it without total love. But it's kind of true. There were so many moments throughout this whole thing with all of us that, although scripted brilliantly, the energy that occurred around the moment and the things that occurred were so unusual, might I say. And that was definitely one of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't get me laughing.
Go ahead.
This question is, well, it's not really, it's a statement first and then a question. Mary,
Yeah.
I lost my dad to liver cancer in 2007. And you were in the height of season 2 when that happened. It was the week after he died is when the episode aired where they unveiled the Viper for Laura, and they pulled your name off. You see Laura on the Viper. Your work on the show since he passed away was helpful for me to get through the grieving process of losing him. It meant a lot to me.
Thank you.
Was there anybody in your own life that you patterned this after to make your character get through the cancer or to convey that? And I want to thank you for helping me get through the healing.
Well, first of all, thank you. And I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I know. A couple of things. I have lost a lot of people in my life. And both Eddie and I have actually, we talked about that before, at a very early age. And then my mother died of breast cancer. And that was something I didn't get a chance to be with her enough during that process. So part of what I kept tapping into was understanding what it is to be alone, sort of thinking about what that was for her. She wasn't one, my sisters were with her, but there was a lot of connection to what I experienced long distance with her and some of the fragility, physical fragility, but she was as strong-willed as they come. So I thought, well, you know what, you may lose the body, but you don't lose the will. And that's kind of where I began. But really, we've all lost a lot of people, I guess, at this point. And you observe along the way as an actor, even when you don't understand that you are. And then it comes out somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And this is one of those cases where I just felt like there was a universal situation there. And that dying is dying. And so what does it look like? I don't know, but I kind of know a little bit what it felt like. So.
Well, thank you for doing it so well.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for mentioning it.
Right here.
Yes. I want to say thank you for portraying the international commander throughout the 4 seasons. I served in the Navy for 8 years, so I especially appreciate how you portrayed it. Did you talk to any serving military officers of CU rank in order to learn those skills and to learn how to convey that on camera?
Everyone heard the question? Okay, the question was, did I work with anybody to develop my leadership qualities in the military? And the answer is, throughout the years I've worked with an abundance of military leaders and police officers, and over the last 40 years. So I didn't really go out and do research for the Admiral per se, except really started to understand the script from the very beginning. And I've got to tell you, both Mary and I will be the first ones in line to say thank you to the writers of this show, especially Ron Moore, because he really created a universe that we all journeyed in, every single person in here. And everybody went there and actually grew from the experience. Not only did you get entertained, but it really left you thinking. And so for me, it was not so much in trying to become a good leader. It was trying to understand the situation that I was in as a human being. I've been lieutenants, I've been all kinds of different things. So the leadership process wasn't, and I'm a leader in reality, in my life. I'm an alpha, and I go crazy. That's my kids, But at the same time, this was different, because when her and I got together the very first time, you know, we sat down together and we actually spoke about this before we started filming. And we talked about what a privilege, an incredible situation that we were going to undergo, and we knew that from the beginning it would at least last for 5 years, and that this was going to be a journey that we would all look back on as being one of the most fulfilling journeys, because of the way just the pilot was written. Just the pilot alone defined us so well without telling anybody anything. They allowed us to experience situations that allowed you to understand a little bit about our character. And they weren't trying to get all of the character out in the first show. You didn't know what was going to happen. So, you know, and the first time we worked together on the show was the So Say We All speech. And that was the first time all of us actually were in the room together. And we had done, I guess, Six and Baltar had done a couple of scenes for the morning. And then we went into, had lunch, and then after lunch we started in that first, which was the final scene. And we're all standing there, and everybody didn't know anybody, really. But we were just learning each other. But we all fell into the situation of the fact that we were burying our families, we were burying our comrades, we were burying our friends. And we were playing characters that were diametrically opposed. And you know, so at the beginning, we didn't even relate to each other. And then, by all means, man, it got to be really bad. As you all know, I mean, I was really upset at her.
Well, he put me in jail. Can you really just talk about that for a minute? And you know what? I was not laughing.
Very true. And then she just careened me, as you saw. As time went on, she got me good. So, payback's a bitch. And she got me. Question? Yes, right here. You. Mm-hmm.
Speak a little louder.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
I wanted to ask if you could talk about your character's, I guess, kind of emotional progression to the desperation felt in season 4. Adama kind of goes through this emotional thing. You know, Rosalind is going through the, I guess, her final stages of life. Do you mind discussing that?
No, I think, again, something that was so brilliantly kind of charted out by Ron is as Laura was coming to the end of her life, she was experiencing a beginning, and she was experiencing love, as opposed to the way we project the end of our lives and how sad that will be. Yes, it was sad, but there was someone in her life for the first time that truly gave her a lot of joy. So there was this really interesting reversal of intuition. Like, one should feel bad because it's over, but she actually got strength from that. And he was going through something entirely different in a way. So once again, we were able to experience each other's opposite, kind of, is how I felt it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, yes.
Yes, you better say yes. After throwing me in jail, it's going to be a rough afternoon for Eddie.
No, basically my character, I was very, very fortunate in being given the palette to design the character as we went along and created control of the character insofar as, and I never changed a word, really. I never really got into it. They had defined it. What I did do was really took into consideration the emotional status of the character at all times. So when they never knew he was going to be an alcoholic. They never knew he was going to be, you know, prone to being a complete babbling, crying idiot on the ground, you know, taking drugs and just like completely gone. And then they never, but when they saw it happening, they go, of course, this is exactly, and you know, I got most of the accolade that I got from military was that we presented a character that had really gone the full distance, had been in war, the worst part of it, had lost almost all of his soldiers, and then went on to have a nervous breakdown, and then revamped himself, gained himself again, and came back stronger. And that to me really, I mean, that was, I mean, I never saw Kurt do that. You know?
Now Eddie's going to be in jail.
But you know, when Mary gained her strength, I was the weakest. So she kept me going. At the very end, I'm crying right now. At the very end, it was very difficult. You know, it became just incredibly difficult for us. It became a reality. When she left that night, the final scene that we shot was the shot of her and she dies. And when she left, she could not walk out of these raptor. She ended up, you know, being carried out by her son. And it was devastating. And to this day, it's still devastating for me to understand that life that we spent, because it was over. And of course, she was strong. She went out.
Okay,
I was crying on her hand.
Can I tell them the story
Yes,
about
go
the
ahead.
head?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Some of you have heard this story, but all that he said is true. It was very deep and very profound. However, we're doing the my close-up, his close-up when I die. Or no, my close-up when I die. The problem was, Eddie was crying and his tears were falling on my hand every time he put the ring on my finger, which would make the dead person cry. And my eyelids would start fluttering and tears would come out, and you'd hear Michael Reimer go, "Cat, you're dead, you can't cry." But we were just about as vulnerable as he could be. And so it took us a while to get it. And because his emotional life was so full, so finally I just had to sort of pretend that it wasn't him,